Welcome to the DeFi podcast, where we attempt to imagine the future of crypto, because foresight is what makes great investors. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment. All statements made by hosts or guests are strictly beliefs or point of views and are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any security. Hosts or guests may hold certain securities discussed in this podcast.
Welcome to this week's episode. We're going to be talking about GameFi, which is, I think, super interesting because it could bring a lot of users to the blockchain. So today we have Peter from PirateVerse and Jacob, who's an advisor to the PirateVerse project. Welcome, guys.
Hello, guys. It's nice to be here, and thank you for having me today.
Yeah, hello, guys. I'm Jacob. I'm a founder of Avalanche. I'm being an advisor for PirateVerse right now. So nice to see you guys.
Welcome to the show. It's good to have you guys on. Especially for me, I'm actually, I don't know a lot about GameFi, so this will be a bit of a learning experience for me. So ready to get into it.
Yeah, I think for me as well, and I think that reflects almost everyone in DeFi, because everyone I speak to in DeFi, because we've been trying to have a GameFi guest for a while, and everyone I know in DeFi goes, oh yeah, that'd be really interesting, but I don't know anyone in GameFi. So it seems like two very different groups, and I would say maybe NFTs or even a third sort of separated group. And I know there's some crossover, and there may be more crossover between GameFi and NFTs, but the DeFi folks that we talk to usually don't know a whole lot about GameFi. And GameFi could have a really huge, I think, impact on the blockchain, right? So my first question would be, how would you characterize GameFi today? Like, where are we today, and where are we going to be in 5 years?
So I would say for right now, everything is still like really, really small, but more games developing, and in the next 5 years, everything is still really simple right now compared to the traditional market. Where I do my research and I take advice from the other people who work in blockchain, they estimate it could be like 5 times bigger than the gaming traditional right now.
Do you know of any like big names that are looking into it, or?
I would say like in Avalanche ecosystem, so it's gonna be like Play Sharpno. It's a shooting game like FPS, and Punsar is kind of like StarCraft 2, very like competitive and skillful play games. And yeah, so for right now they have only around like 5, I think, like Ascender, Elder Runes, and Imperium. That is the 5 AAA game fight right now that I have like tested with them, play demo, and worked with them since like the beginning.
So in a lot of industries, when something new comes out, and I don't know, a good example could be electric cars. The legacy companies are sometimes very slow to catch up, and really you have like completely new companies that get formed and take over that market. Do you think that this is going to happen in GameFi, or traditional game makers going to enter the blockchain and build games there, or is it going to be a bunch of crypto natives that start the real big game companies of the future?
Yeah, so to be honest, I wouldn't say crypto native. I work with a lot of game team, and most of them they come from the traditional market. They're not blockchain. They're not applying blockchain in the currency. For right now, like everything is data, but in the futures, everything is gonna be like more visible. Like you can send your money in the game to someone else, or you can cash out. But if you want to do it in the traditional game, it's going to be like really hard.
So I guess the big question is, what is the huge advantage of developing a game on the blockchain versus going through a traditional route? What do you get from having your game be intertwined with blockchain tech?
The best thing is they're applying blockchain. Like you're gonna have the finance system that where people can make hype on it. If a lot of people coming up and play games and making like revenue for the projects, there's gonna be a finance part reinvest back to spend for the early adopter. So it's gonna be a big difference than the other traditional game.
The addition of the sort of finance aspect of gaming could, first of all, bring a lot of new users into the space, and also I think probably is going to add a really interesting aspect for people who are already, let's say, heavily into gaming. What kind of games do you think are going to be the most popular with this way of coming at the gaming industry?
Yeah, so there's many types of game right now, but what I believe most is the game they can convert it to esport. So anything that for right now can convert it to esport, I think it's gonna last long because wherever you can convert it to esport, it means you have user and you have a lot of user on it, and stuff like that gonna last really long and can grow up like fast in the future, wherever they build something new and applying blockchain on it.
As of right now, how much money do you think is in this space?
For now, like so, for my estimation, on only Avalanche is around under $20 million for developing. I'm not talking about like market cap. I'm not talking about the other things. I'm just talking about like how much they spend to build games, like studio in Avalanche spend to build game. So that's why I see right now is likely $20 million around that.
Okay, and how much do you think like users could bring? I would say in Avalanche and also beyond Avalanche. Let's say the whole crypto ecosystem.
Yes, to be honest, I don't know. To be honest, like I don't
Okay.
know. For right now, at this vision about GameFi right now, so I cannot like give you the right number or expect the right numbers because I don't collect enough data to make you know a vision on that. But I'll keep my eyes on the market.
Okay. So did PirateVerse consider going to any other chains before Avalanche, or was Avalanche a main chain since the very beginning because of the subnet architecture? What's the history there?
So actually, it's gonna be like this. At the moment, we knew about Avalanche Subnet. We came up with the idea of an all-in-one ecosystem, and then we decided to build right away. We really love the scaling idea of Avalanche subnets about how they will make Avalanche different from other layer ones and other ecosystems. So subnets, in fact, allow us to have more creativity on building a customized chain and choosing our validators, as well as like native tokens for gas fees. So generally speaking, it's customized blockchain economy, and you will have a lot to go from there. So building a complete gaming ecosystem with a DeFi hub like AMDEX, Blockchain Explorer, and Bridge solution enables us to like onboard more quality games on Subnet and then attracting new users to Avalanche. Therefore, we will contribute to the amazing community and ecosystem.
So, do you want to tell us a bit about how you are planning and building your subnet? Like, what's your vision? What's going to be on it? I believe it's more than one game. I believe it's multiple games. So, yeah, we'd love to hear about that.
So, as I said before, our vision is to create a gaming ecosystem with a DeFi hub, and we will have like DeFi products at the back to enhance the user experience and token utilities. So the focus would be on GameFi and DeFi. For GameFi projects, we have already announced three games to launch on PirateVerse Subnet, which are Happyland, PirateVerse, and Urban Racer. Happyland is now available to play on our testnet subnet, and the other two games will be around shortly. So, PirateVerse is a real-time strategy pirate game with an immersive and story-filled pirate world, and this game is expected to launch a community testnet version in September with brand new NFTs, constructions, gameplay, and background stories. And for Urban Racer, on the other hand, is a thrilling racing metaverse, and players not only become fearless racers, but they can also become a successful businessman by owning racetrack, garage, or even districts. So these are the NFTs in the game. So we expect to launch a public game demo within 1 week from now, let's say. So the most important thing is we are ready to onboard another game. And this time it is a triple A shooting game. So this one is still a secret and we haven't had a public announcement. So let's wait for it. We also have like sealed the deal with Excellent Network on becoming another bridge solution beside our in-house bridge. We will announce this early next month. So in general, you can tell that there are a lot of gaming options when players dive into PirateVerse subnet, and this is what we are really proud of.
And the three games that you're talking about launching now, obviously PirateVerse is your game. Are the other two designed by your studio or they're designed by partners?
PirateVerse, Happyland, and Urban Racer, they are all part of Tazo Game Studio. Specifically, our Urban Racer team is from Turkey, but they are still a part of Tazo Game Studio. So the Urban Racer team had a lot of experience in creating the racing games, and those games that they created had millions of downloads. So PirateVerse, Happyland, and Urban Racer, they are all from Tazo Game Studio. And the next game that I said before, the AAA game, it's not coming from Tanzo Game Studio. It's coming from another game studio, and this is really, I mean, for us, it's gonna be a really big milestone because it's not gonna be just us. It's not gonna be just Tanzo Game Studio and Dega Labs, and we're gonna have another game studio joining in. We are gonna have another game outside our ecosystem to join in the subnet. So it's kind of important for us, you know.
So, do you expect to kind of continue onboarding more teams as you guys, grow and get bigger?
Yeah, definitely. That's our vision because we decided to build a gaming ecosystem, and a gaming ecosystem needs games on it, and it needs to have more variety.
I imagine that you believe that having the DeFi part sort of serves the rest of the games is very important. Is that correct?
So if we look around and we see the other subnets building right now on Avalanche, and we can see that mostly like they have already built a game and then they build a subnet to migrate the game onto the subnet. Let's say for DeFi Kingdoms, they build it on the Harmony blockchain and they move it to the FK chain. So that's the case. That's a steady case. For Crocodile, at the start, they already have Crocodile up and running. It's pretty good. And then they build the Swimmer network and they migrate Crocodile on it. But then Swimmer network right now is gonna have two more games on it, Clash Up and Snake City. So I think that building an ecosystem on the subnet is something that many people would think of. They would build a platform that will have and support a lot of games on it. So people, when it comes to their subnet, they will have a lot of options. They will have a lot of experience that they will not have on other subnets. So the reason we choose to build our own DeFi products on uh, private subnet is because if a subnet just only have games and then the DeFi part would rely on other third party other partners from outside. So we decided to build a DeFi part with a lot of products that I said before, like AMM DEX and Bridge Solution. They will ensure the liquidity of the subnet, and then from the liquidity of the subnet, it will enhance and it will improve the user experience when they play, when they trade, and when they invest on our subnet. And that's why we chose to go another way. We chose to build an all-in-one ecosystem. We build both GameFi and both DeFi, and that's why.
What's it like to actually work on developing a subnet for GameFi when comparing it to, let's say building a product that's just like a DApp on blockchain?
I think that I think building the apps on blockchain and building a subnet ecosystem, they are they seem like different, but building the apps on blockchain is a part of building an ecosystem. So actually, right now we are on testnet subnet, and we are developing new farming and staking features for PirateSwap. That's like we are building the apps right now. We are building also we are also building integration with bridge solutions, and we're testing everything, and we try our best to get subnet ready to launch mainnet in Q4 this year. So the difference, the main difference between building a subnet and building the apps on blockchain is that we have to think of the total picture, the whole picture. Like we have to maintain, or we have to think of the tokenomics, that how is gonna benefit the game launching on our subnet, how is gonna benefit the validators, how is gonna be more beneficial for the user, for the players, and all things like that, and how we'll keep the subnet going, how we keep onboarding more games and things like that. That's the difference between building an all-in-one ecosystem and building a single DApp on chain. So we also have other products in development. Are like we have NFT swap, NFT marketplace, and NFT bridge. So that's it.
So maybe we could discuss a little bit more about PirateVerse. I would like to know what you think differentiates PirateVerse from other games in the marketplace.
Okay, right. PirateVerse is a real-time strategy pirate game on Avalanche and PirateVerse Subnet. In the game, there is a story-filled pirate world where players can explore, build, and own their pirate kingdoms. So this game is inspired by the legendary game Age of Empires, if you know, and the great stories told in Pirates of the Caribbean. So there will be three NFTs in the game: captains, battleships, and islands. So the thing that will make this game different from others is the three types of NFTs and the complex but interesting pirate gameplay. They will be the difference. Each island NFT will have one main island and five resources sub islands with different rarities. So battleships are the most important assets, as you will need battleships to join the PvE, explore chapters and stories, earn rewards, join PvP mode, fight against other pirates in the area, and claim the rank. So captains and MTs will add more unique skills and abilities to your crew and battleships. So we have two game modes, PvP and PvE. And PvP is more like a turn-based gameplay where PvE requires skills to move the battleships, use skills, and perfectly defeat the monsters. So I mean, building Pirate Kingdom in PirateVerse is also a vital part of the gameplay, and which will provide the items and the materials needed to enhance and upgrade the entities.
Up until this point, I've noticed that a lot of other games in the GameFi space, they're not really games, right? They don't have a lot of actual gameplay. It's more of like a trading or like card collecting kind of system. And I guess it seems like you guys have actual gameplay that you're kind of working into the GameFi finance kind of system.
Yeah, that's right. Especially when GameFi was at their first start. Like we all see that they are really simple gameplay and they're like the turn-based gameplay, and it all died in within one or two first one because the inflationary and things like that. But right now the users are more skeptical, and the market is heading for much complex games that will have interesting gameplay and that will make the players ready to sit in front of the laptop or in front of the computer to play it, not only for the money. And they want to have something fun. They want to have something relaxed, and that's where the GameFi is heading right now. We will see more interesting games coming in the future, I think.
Cool. Can you tell us about your team?
All right. Our team is Tons of Game Studio. The game studio behind PirateVerse, Happy Land, and Urban Racer is Tons of Game Studio. They have more than 40 developers with more than 7 years of experience in developing and publishing games for the top four biggest telcos in Vietnam. So as I said before, Urban Racer team is a part of Taza Game, and they also build a lot of successful racing games. So Dega Labs is our incubator, and I have to say that our blockchain explorer from Dega Labs are really capable of building various projects. They were former Tomo Chain developers since 2017, and they had experience building and running independent blockchain from scratch. They are expert and they specialize in the security and the DeFi part. And they can also build GameFi and DeFi projects.
So you have a proper blockchain team and you have a proper game creation team working together.
That's why I think it's really important to have like a separate blockchain team. And I mean, building an ecosystem requires a lot of first it requires a lot of money, and it requires a lot of employees and talents to build on it. So we need to have people. We need to have talents to be with us and things like that.
Awesome. I think we're are hitting a good time mark here to maybe wrap it up. So I would like to thank you, Peter and Jacob, for joining us. It's been great diving into the world of GameFi, sort of a different universe. I'd like to unpack it more with more stats and keep a close eye on where things are going, because I think this could affect the blockchain landscape quite a bit overall. So super interesting. Thank you for bringing us into your world. Really appreciate it. If anyone is still listening, please follow us on all the platforms. It makes Jared very happy, and we want a happy Jared.
Very happy.
So thank you, Peter. Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah, thank you, Jared. Thank you, JF. And it was really good to be on here and talk to you guys. And thank you for having me again. And I hope that we can talk again in the future.
I think your vision is really interesting, and we'd love to keep track of it for sure. Thank you. Have a good week, everyone.